Hey guys, so today is part 2 of my Shop My Stash. If you missed the first part, I went through and reviewed everything that was in my drawer last month, kind of sorted everything out, and now we're going in to actually shop my stash. I have historically done these videos kind of all in one, so we've both gone over last month and shop my stash, but they were getting pretty long, and I had a couple suggestions for maybe breaking it into 2 videos, so I'm trying that for this month. Let me know down in the comments how you feel about that. All that to say, we are now in my Alex 9 drawers. We're in the top drawer of that. We're going to start with my blush, kind of like last month, work our way through my Alex drawers, scoot over to some of my other makeup drawers, and pick things for the next month. Last month when I was shopping my stash, I was kind of looking through products through the lens of, let's find fun things for spring. This time, I kind of want to take a different approach. I want to look at products that I am kind of uncertain about. So things that as I look at my collection here, I'm like, gosh, I don't remember how I feel about this, or I need to try that again because I really don't think I have a formed opinion whatsoever. And the reason I want to do that through all of my drawers here is that I'm getting ready to do another declutter series. So about this time last year, I started a declutter series even before I started my channel. You guys have seen those videos coming out for many months now, but I'm to the point now where my drawers, in many cases, like this blush drawer, are really full to overflowing. So I'm ready to do another declutter series here soon. But before I do that, I really want to make sure that I have fully formed opinions on products so that when I go do my declutters, I am thinking about what I want to keep, what I not want to keep, and I know why. So really, I'm not necessarily going to be picking a set number. I'm really going to be looking through this drawer and going, how do I feel about this? I can't remember. Let's pull it in and give it a shot. Okay, rambly intro aside, we're in the blush drawer. Let's look at some blush here that I am uncertain about. This is one I definitely know I want to bring in. This is Luminoso. I know a lot of people with even light medium to deep skin tones like this blush. I feel like it might be too orange on me, to be totally honest, with being as fair as I am. So I want to pull this in and really form a solid opinion on it. It's a cult classic. It is a beautiful formula, gives a nice satiny sheen to the skin, but I'm just worried that it might be too orange on me, so I'm going to pull this in and mess around with it this month. Another one off the top of my head I know I really want to try again is from Physicians Formula. Get out here. It is this one. So this is that super light colored one. This is Natural Glow. It's very fair. Most people who tried this on YouTube land said that it was too fair for their skin, didn't really do anything. In fact, even on me, you can kind of barely see it there. But sometimes these barely there blushes actually show up more on my fair cheeks than I realize. So I do want to try this one again this month. All right, I also want to pull this in. This is from MAC. This is one of their extra dimension blushes. This is in Sweets for My Sweet. I feel like this one might be too shiny on my cheeks. I'm trying to remember. See, this is why I want to test this. So I'm going to pull this in because I just don't remember how I felt about this. I also think I'm going to pull this in. So this is from Too Faced. This is their Love Flush blush in Baby Love. I ended up getting rid of the pink one because I just felt like it was patchy when I put it on and I couldn't get it to blend out correctly. It also felt very powdery. So I want to see if I feel the same way about this guy. Texture feels nice when I swatch it just now. I want to see if this one is similar. It's been a while since I've pulled this in, so let's get that in. I think I'm also going to pull this in. This is from Dose of Colors. This is Blush Like You Mint It. It is in the shade State Mint. I don't really remember how I feel about this blush formula, to be honest, so I'm going to pull this in. Yeah, I think I'm good here. I think I at least have fully formed opinions on the rest of these products, so I do think I'm going to close up this drawer and we'll move on to bronzers and highlighters. Okay, so here are bronzers and highlighters. This drawer is out of control. It's just got entirely too much crap in it. So, all right, so let's pull some things that I need to form some opinions on, maybe a little more clearly. Let's start with bronzer. One I know I want to pull in and just make sure I still like it is this Milani Baked Bronzer. This is in the shade Dolce. I think this one was maybe a little too yellow on me. Yeah, I'm feeling like it might be too yellow. We'll give it a whirl and see how we feel about it though. We'll put that in. Let's also pull this in. This is the Sun Club Essence Matte Bronzing Powder for lighter skin. This is 01 Natural. I feel like this one might also be a little yellow. a little orangey. This one is matte versus this one is glowy. So let's pull this in, see how we feel about it. All right, I think that's good for bronzer. I think I know how I feel about the rest of these. Let's pull this in. So this is the Julep bronzer in So Radiant Medium Tan. That is it there. Let's pull this in because I feel like I liked this one, but gosh, I really couldn't give you guys a solid formed opinion right now on how this wore and all of that jazz. So let's give this a whirl so I really have a formed opinion before we do the declutter. All right, so highlighters. Let's see here. What do I feel like I need more time with first? The Goddess blushes from Baked Revolution. I know I like Goddess of Faith because it is more pearly colored. This one's got more of a peach pink shift to it. So I do think, let's see, this is Goddess of Love. So I'm gonna pull this in and just see how I feel about this sort of bright peachy color here. I'll give you a swatch so you can see what I'm talking about here. It's definitely got a peachy shift to it. They're very intense. So let's pull Goddess of Love in. Formula of both of these is phenomenal, but I just want to make sure that I really want to keep this shade here. Let's bring this in. So this is the Sweetest Bling from Wet n Wild. This is the Mega Glow Highlighting Powder. This came out, I think it was limited edition. I want to see if this one is too pink on my skin. It's definitely very strong pink, but I feel like it might be too dark. The shade in the center is probably okay for me, but I'd like to play with this before I decide. So I know I like the strobe highlight in Moonglow Lights. I don't remember how I feel about the color here. This is Everglow Lights. I don't remember how I feel about Everglow Lights here, so I'm going to pull this in as well. I am missing a few highlighters. I pulled them out for swatches the other day. Let me go get those. These were ones that I had done swatches for a girl in the Facebook group I'm a part of, What's Up in Makeup. It's Jen Loves Reviews Facebook page. It's phenomenal if you're not a part of it. Somebody was asking a question about a dupe for the Bobbi Brown highlighter in Pink Glow. So I pulled this out. This was one of the first high-end highlighters I ever bought. And it's interesting. Now that I swatch it, I almost wonder if it is too dark for my skin tone. I was buying highlighters based on how pretty I thought they looked in store and maybe less about how well it went with my skin tone. So I do think I want to pull this guy in. Maybelline Master Chrome, I know how I feel about that. This Pixie, I know I love. And I think I also want to pull in this one from Wet n Wild. This is Botanic Dream. This one's a little bit of a darker, brighter pink than Blossom Glow, which is my favorite from Wet n Wild. I think this is stunning. It's a lot lighter though, as you can see. I think what I'm going to do is pull in this, and then we'll pull in my Bobbi Brown one. And I think beyond that, I have pretty good solid opinions on the rest of the stuff in here. All right, next row down, this is Cream Potted Shadows and Single Shadows in here. Let's pull this in. This is the Catrice Glam Fusion. This is a powder to gel one. It's a little bit loose in the pan. I remember swatching this and thinking this was absolutely stunning, but I don't remember how it applied to the eyes. So let's pull that in. Let's also pull these in. These I don't even know if they make anymore. I just want to make sure that I like them. I think I bought them because that Taylor had recommended, oh, that is pretty. This one in particular, which is the Grammy Goes Glammy as a potential highlight shade. So let's try these and see if they're worth keeping. I kept this Fierce Fuchsia shade from Maybelline. I did really enjoy some of these. Let's try this one and make sure it's worth keeping as a single shadow. I remember the pigmentation on this was good, but let's try this one more time to see if it's really worth keeping. This is an e.l.f. smudge pot. It's got smudge all over it. This is in the shade Wine Nut. I haven't worn this in a while. Let's play with this and see if it's worth keeping. The formula on these is good. I just don't know now that I'm looking at it if that's a color I'm going to reach for a lot. I'll pull that in and just see how I feel about it on the eyeballs. Same with this guy. So this is a Smudge Pot Long Lasting Lustrous Eyeshadow in Gala. It's pretty, but I don't know as if I'm going to wear this a ton, to be honest. I like these two shades here quite a bit, but let's pull this in and see how I feel about it. Okay, so this drawer has brow products, liners, and cream shadow sticks, liquid shadows, and stuff in here. Okay, so let's look at brow section, see if there's anything in here that I want to try. I do think I want to pull this in. This is from, this is Winky Lux. So this is a Winky Lux brow sort of pencil, kind of that triangular shape on one end, and then a spoolie on the other. I don't feel like I gave this a lot of time and attention when I first got it, so we're gonna pull that in. This e.l.f. Clear Brow Gel I used to use all the freaking time. This is a fairly new one. I'd like to try this again, see how I feel about it against some of the tinted ones that I'm using. Along with this Brow Stylist Definer, this is from L'Oreal. It is more of a traditional pencil shape. I feel like this is a good color for me. I used it for a while. It is shade dark brunette. So we're gonna pull that in just to try. And then I also want to pull in this little kit from e.l.f. This is their eyebrow kit in dark. So it's got a powder and a pomade on each side. I haven't historically used a lot of powder combo kits like this, but I'd like to give it another whirl before we do the declutter. So we'll pull that in. Let's pull this in. This is the Stila Stay All Day Liquid Waterproof Liner. This is a felt tip pen, which I don't typically like, but it does feel kind of juicy. Let's pull this in and try it. All right, it has been a hot minute since I've used any cream products, so I do want to pull these two in because I don't think I need two potted brown, and I'd like to kind of decide which one I liked better. So I'm gonna pull that in. All right, so now let's look at these. These are cream pencils. Yeah, I'm feeling okay with those. These are liquid ones. Remember about this. This is Catrice Liquid Metal. Pull that in. Okay, I'm gonna pull this in. This is something nobody ever talks about. It's been a while since I've used it, so I'd like to try it. It's the CoverGirl Bombshell Shine Eyeshadow. I remember thinking this was really pretty, but it's been a while since I've worn it. So let me pull this in and just see if this is as good as I remember, if I liked it as much as when I first got it. So I think that's good. The rest of these, I feel like I have strong opinions on, so I'm good. Okay, so this is one of my lip drawers. I've got a lot of stuff in here. I think I have pretty good opinions on most products in here. Let's see if there's anything that I am kind of iffy on at this point. I'm gonna pull this in. This, I don't even know if MAC makes these anymore. This is the Huggable Lip Color in Bonsai Bloom. It's a very sheer tinted kind of balm. Pull this in. This is from Julep. It's the shade Strut. Doesn't say what part it is for. So it feels very creamy. It feels a little sheer. It's a deeper plummier color, so I'm not sure how that's gonna work. I don't remember how I feel about this. So that's coming in. Yeah, I do want to pull this in. This is Uno Mas from ColourPop. This was part of their Luxe lipstick line. It's not their matte line. I remember wearing this and having problems with this kind of forming a white ring around the outside of my lips and wearing weird, this color in particular. So I'm going to pull this in because I want to see if that replicates itself this go round. I also think I might pull over a layover. Yeah, let's pull these two shades in. A lot of this declutter for lip products is going to be, are they shades that I like still? Do they still work for me? Are they still good, right? Have they gone bad yet? All right, I think I know how I feel about the rest of these lip products, so let's move down a drawer. Okay, so this is glosses. It's gotten completely out of control. I really do need to trim this back. I don't wear a ton of glosses as it is. And then I've also been just tossing new lip products for spring that I haven't found a home for in here. So part of my first declutters will probably be these top two drawers for blushes, bronzers, highlighters, and then I'm going to probably move right into lip products because this is just giving me complete anxiety. So let's pull in some things that I may need to just kind of form some second opinions on. I don't remember how I feel about this. This is from Rimmel. This is the 3D Glossy. Do they even make these anymore? Formula feels decent. It's got a green shift to it though. I don't know how I'm gonna wear that. Let's pull that in. Let's try this one. This is Ready to Wear New York. This is the shade Nude. I remember buying this because I thought it was really interesting. Ooh, that's a lot more pigmented than I remember. Let's give it a whirl. Don't remember about this one. This is from Manica Dar. This is the shade Lucky. I feel like I got this in a subscription service. That is a really pretty color. Pulled this in. I don't remember about this one either. This is the Lacquer in Tea Rose from e.l.f. I don't know how I feel about that color or this formula, so let's pull this in. Pull this Shine Shot in. It looks really cool. It's supposed to be like a topper. I think I used this when it first came out quite a bit, but it feels like it might just be a kind of a boring clear gloss. I don't know if I'm going to need that in my life. Pull this Rimmel one in. This is the Oh My Gloss from Rimmel. This is, I think, one of their tinted lip oils. This is the shade Contemporary Coral. Yeah, let's pull that in. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Okay, so the rest of this I feel like I have solid opinions on, so we are gonna, ooh, maybe not. What's this? Ulta Beauty Color Rush Lip Gloss. I don't know how I feel about you. A little sample, clearly. We'll try that. All right, for real, that is all from this drawer. Let's move down to eyeshadow palettes. Okay, so here are eyeshadow palettes. This is the first of 3 drawers. This is organized by brand. That's kind of how I keep things in all of these drawers. I have good opinions on most of these, but there's a couple in here that I'm like, I really need to kind of make up my mind about. One that I know for sure is this. This I got off of Haute Look. I think this is one they've discontinued. This is from Laura Geller. It's one of her sort of baked formulas. Her bakes feel really nice though. I don't love this kind of dome shape inside of a pan. I find like it's harder to get your brush around these shades. And I played with it a little bit when I got it, but to be honest, not a ton. I liked a lot of the cooler shades that were in here. I felt like you don't see a lot of cool toned eyeshadow palettes. Yeah, so I need to play with this one. So that's going to come in. Let's see. Another one that I know I want to pull in is actually one right behind it. So this is from the Balm. This is the Nude Beach palette. I have been kind of, I don't know, apathetic on the Balm eyeshadows. I think some of them are good and some of them I've not really enjoyed. But I need to decide if this is really something worth keeping in my collection as well. So I'm going to pull this in. This may surprise some of you guys as well. This is from Visart. So this is their Bridal Satin Edition. I don't own any of the matte ones. I don't know. Every time I look at them, I always back away from spending $80. I did buy this one because I thought it had really pretty purples and some blues. And I thought, well, this could be a good pairing palette with a matte palette that I know I already enjoy. I just don't feel like I've given this palette enough love. Like it feels really nice to the touch. The colors seem pigmented. These are horrible swatches, sorry guys. I need to make up my mind about whether or not it is worth keeping this guy or not, because to be honest, I bought it and I have barely reached for it. So yeah. All right, so this is a mix of small palettes, big palettes, a little bit of drugstore, a little bit of high-end. This is kind of a mishmashy drawer, to be totally honest. I'm gonna pull this one in. This is another Balm palette. This was the Balm Appetit palette. I remember that these colors were not as dark as they looked in the pan. I remember thinking that it wasn't that they weren't pigmented, it's just that they were a lot lighter on your eyes than they were in the pan. You had color payoff, but it was lighter. I don't know how else to describe that. I want to play with this a little bit more. It's been a while, so we're going to pull this in. Okay, so I think that's all I'm going to pull from eyeshadow. The drawer down from here is drugstore, and I just did a declutter on that. Feel like I have a good grasp on what's in that drawer, what I like, what I don't like. So I think we're good there. So I'm just going to reposition, and then we're going to move into some face products. Okay, so now we're at the top of my Alex 9 drawers. This is where I've got all my liquid lipsticks and kind of liquefied lipsticks, and then also like lippy pencils. So let's see, let's get this little candle out of here. These drawers are kind of a hot mess right now, and I really would like to get them back into decent shape. I mean, some of them are like full to busting, and some of that is because I just did a Shop My Stash kind of stepdaughter picks my makeup, and she kind of tore through these drawers with a vengeance, and now they're all kind of a hot mess. Definitely messed up some of these drawers. That's okay. That's the fun part of shopping your stash, right? So my goal here is to just once again look through here and see if there's any products in here that I haven't formed opinions on that I want to pull into my stash this next month. It's been a minute since I've used this Bite liquefied lipstick. I don't remember how I feel about this. I thought it was a little thick for my tastes, so I want to see if it's something I want to keep. So I'm going to pull that in. Pull this in. This is the Pure Lip Lure. It has a cushion tip applicator on one end. Can be a little messy, but I thought this one actually worked pretty well. This next drawer is also kind of getting messed up, but it is my lippy sticks. I know I love those. And then my NARS pencils and my nude sticks. So I like these. This will just be a color determination on if we keep them. So good with that drawer. Next drawer. Wow, these have all gotten completely messed up. That's okay. Let's see, what are things we want to try again? I don't remember how I felt about this Tarte Harmony Lip Surgeons lip cream, so we're going to pull that in. The rest of these I think I am good with. Here is the next drawer. I like all of that. Now we're getting into some liquid lipsticks. I'll pull the Charlotte Tilbury one in again and give this a whirl. Makeup Forever liquid lipstick. I think I'm also going to pull in this Too Faced Melted Matte. I have some of these and I like them, but I don't remember if Queen Bee is a shade that I would, that worked well. Sometimes these lighter colors can go a little wonky with liquid lipsticks. I like all the stuff in there. This is Maybelline and L'Oreal. I like those. I know how those formulas work. So this is Julep and Smashbox Too Faced Bare Minerals. Pull this NARS one. I haven't used this in a hot minute. Let's try that again. This one is ColourPop. I know I love that. This one is more liquefied lipsticks from the drugstore. I know these formulas pretty well. I think this will just be a consideration based on color then. At the very tippy top up there are all of my MAC, my Bite, and my Charlotte Tilbury. I know I love all of those lipsticks. Formulas in particular, we will probably be looking for dupes just to like pull the collection a little bit from a dupes perspective, but I know I like those, so I don't feel like I need to pull those in. So that is it for the top of my Alex 9 drawer. All right, so now we are into the drawer that goes next to my everyday makeup drawer. This has face palettes and then it also has cream products here. So I need to once again go through here, see if there's anything that I don't have fully formed opinions on at this point. All right, I'm gonna pull this in. I don't even know what this is. So this is the e.l.f. product that was buried down in the bottom. Squeezy tube. Oh, it's pearl. Seems pretty. Typical e.l.f. It doesn't really say, it just says illuminating. We'll pull that in. And then it's been a hot minute since I've used this. This is the Lancome dual-ended stick. It's got a highlighter on one end that I remember feeling was almost too subtle. And then it had a really nice ashy contour shade on the other. I'm gonna pull this in and play with it a little bit. All right, anything in here I don't know about. Okay, I love this contour. It's been a while since I've played with this Fiona Styles highlighting kit, so I'm gonna pull that in and see how I feel about it. I think I'm also gonna pull this in. So this is a little bulky. It's the Master Contour Kit. I remember liking this, but I wanna make sure that I really enjoy all three of these if I'm going to keep it. So I think I'm gonna pull that in. I think I'm also gonna pull this in. I'm pulling a lot, guys, but I really, like I said, this is my last hurrah before decluttering, so wanna make sure that I have really solid opinions. And this is a little kit from Sleek. This is their Contouring and Blush Palette in Light 373. Has a very glowy blush, a highlighter, and a contour bronzer shade. So let's pull that in too. And I think that is good. The rest of this, I definitely know how I feel about the shades in here. All right, so this is all of my foundations, BB creams, all of that jazz. I really want to think about pulling some things in that I haven't tried in a while. Let's pull this in. This is from Stila. This is their Stay All Day foundation. I have this in my natural finish. So this is more of my matte, fuller coverage. This is my glowy, and this is more of what I would consider to be satin skin-like foundation. So I have this one in my satin skin-like foundations. It does have a concealer at the top, and then it has like a little squirt thing down below. So let's pull this in. This has also been a hot minute. This is my e.l.f. This is their acne fighting foundation in the shade Porcelain. This has BHA in it, which my skin freaking loves. So I am gonna give this a whirl again, because I remember this was like one of my favorite drugstore foundations back in the day. Pulling this is the Revlon Color Stay in 110. Don't remember how I feel about that. Also don't remember how I feel about this one. BH Cosmetics, Naturally Flawless. Let's pull this in. This is J. Manuel Beauty. I think this has different packaging now. This is his Light Filter 2. I bought this because a YouTuber I love loves this, so it's been a minute since I've used it. We'll pull that in. I remember liking this too as a matte. It was a satin matte foundation. I don't know if you can get this anymore from Sonia Kashuk. We're gonna pull this in too. You know what? Let's do this. Let's leave this in. I already have 5 foundations pulled, so I think I'm gonna wear these for 2 or 3 times, form an opinion on them, and put them back in the drawer, and maybe pull something else that I am not remembering quite as well. In fact, I'm gonna put this one back too, because I have 1, 2, 3, 4 pulled at this point. So I think I'm gonna kind of work my way through these. So what may happen during this next month that you guys maybe won't see is me pulling this J. Manuel one, pulling this Sonia Kashuk one, I want to pull this little Korean Luna Beauty Compact again and play with it. And then I think I'm going to end up having to play with a lot more of these concealers as well back here. So next up, I've got a ton of concealers back here. So I'm having to hold this drawer while I film because it's so heavy it'll fall over otherwise. I think what I'm going to do is pull all these out, put them on the floor, and then pull in ones that I need to form some second opinions on. All right, I'm going to pull this Bare Skin Bare Minerals concealer in. This is in the shade Fair. This is, I know, a favorite of Jamie Page. I don't remember completely loving this one though, but it's been a hot minute and I could use another round of testing with it. So let's pull that in. This is a little bit older. I also want to play with this one. I think this is one that I was using to kind of lighten the tops of my cheekbones versus true concealing. So this is the L'Oreal Magic Lumi. Yeah, in fact, they even call it a highlighter. So let's pull that in. Let's pull this in. This is the Rimmel Match Perfection 125 Claire. It goes with this foundation that I completely love from them. And I, in general, have liked the Max Perfection line, but it's been a minute since I've used this, so let's pull that in. I'm also going to pull this in. This is the Pixi Correction Brightening Peach. I do like this one. I know I like it, but I think I've pulled in some lighter coverage concealers, so I may need this on days when my eyes are looking a little wonky. So let's pull this in. And then I think that's good. The rest of these, I think I have fully formed opinions on. All right, guys, so this is the last drawer we're going to open. It has all my primers in the front, my powders in the back, and in the center, I have kind of my facial oils and white mixing drops, and then also travel size primers. This one, mattifying moisture lotion, SPF 15. I don't feel like this is something I'm going to love, but I don't remember how I feel about it, so let's pull that. I used to wear this all the time, e.l.f. Poreless Face Primer. Can't remember how I feel about it though. Let's pull that. Let's pull this in. This is the Catrice Prime and Fine Beautifying Primer. I think this is, oh yeah, it says naturally illuminating. That seems pretty. Let's try that one again. I'm also gonna pull these two in. So this is the Photo Fix Wrinkle Filler Primer and the Airbrush Away Primer from number 7. I've never compared and contrasted these two, so I think I want to try these maybe back to back, day to day, and see if I can form a clear opinion about both of these. So let's pull those. And then I think the rest of these, I pretty much know how I feel about them. All right, so powders. Let's see here. Are there any powders that I am uncertain on? Pull this in. This is Julep. This is their Insta Filter Invisible Finishing Powder. It's just a white powder. I'd like to play with this a little more, so let's pull that in. Also pull this Charlotte Tilbury. This is her Airbrush Flawless Finish. I bought this expecting to love it, and I remember when I used it, I was kind of like, all right, well, that's not bad. But I'd like to play with it a little bit more. This is that Hydrating Mineral Veil. I'm gonna pull this in. I haven't used this in a while, and I should really decide if it's worth keeping. And I'm also gonna pull this in. So this is the Celebration Foundation Illumination. I know some people really like this to set their makeup, but technically it is a powder foundation. I'm going to try this both as a powder foundation and then also just set my makeup. I don't typically like using powder foundations to set my makeup because I feel like it just is too heavy, too cakey. I tend to like my skin to peek through a little bit more, but I don't feel like I've really played with this quite as much as I should. So I'm going to pull this in as well. Okay, so I've just pulled a ton of products. I'm actually a little concerned that it's not going to fit in the drawer. I'm going to go try and fill up that drawer and then I'll show you kind of where we're sitting. Okay guys, so here is how the drawer is looking. Like I predicted, it is a little smashed full and I've had to get a little creative about how things fit in different places. I have a ton of brow products down here. My face section is definitely smashed full with the 4 foundations and all the face products I wanted to try. And I've actually had to put my powders that I was playing around with down at this end, along with this giant Makeup Revolution highlight. That is the only place I could get it to fit. Eyeshadow palettes, not a ton in there because once again, I know most of my palettes. There's just a handful that I wanted to try differently. I've got some things stacked up here in the back. Foundations, or primers rather, and then all of my lip products down here. This is going to be a fun experimental drawer for me. There may be a lot of fails as I go through this. Like I mentioned as I was looking at my foundations, I will be substituting different ones in here to give them a whirl and writing down notes as we go. And then once I feel like I've got a good handle on these products, I'm going to start my declutter series and I'm going to start working my way through my collection from top to bottom again. As I was just sitting here staring at all the stuff I pulled in, I did realize that I pretty much was out of mascara. So I'm going to pull in 2 things. I'm going to pull in this Tarteist mascara. I've never tried this. I feel like I've heard good and awful things about it. So I'm going to pull this in. And then I'm also going to pull in this Dior Show mascara. This is like their volumizing one. I've never tried a Dior mascara. I can't imagine that I'm going to love it enough to warrant paying Dior prices for a mascara, but hey, I have this fancy sample. Let's give it a whirl. Okay, so now that drawer is actually complete. So I'm excited to play around with what's in here and form some opinions and then kind of make notes on what's going to end up as part of my declutter versus what is going to stay permanently in my drawer. Once again, guys, in the comments, let me know how you like me to edit this video, whether it works better for you to have a longer video and see everything in one swoop, or if you'd rather me break this up into kind of like two little part one, part two, and put them out. Happy to do it either way. Just would like to know what you guys prefer. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I do these on a regular basis. Make sure you hit subscribe if you enjoy these kinds of Shop My Stash videos. I hope you guys are having a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye.